Good morning to all of you. I am Dr. Neetu Gehlot. I am working as Assistant Professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management, Gurgaon. I am from Applied Science Department and my subject is Chemistry. And in this lecture, today we are discussing about the infrared spectroscopy. That is our fourth unit topic. And this is my 25th lecture. So today Uh, this is the series of spectroscopy, and in this series we have uh, discussed about the firstly the basic information or introduction of the spectroscopy, and then we have covered a topic that is the ultraviolet spectroscopy. And now come to the infrared spectroscopy. There are other type of the spectroscopy that are the uh, NMR spectroscopy and the MRI spectroscopy. So today's lecture, I will cover the infrared spectroscopy. So here, the spectroscopic technique involving transitions in the vibrational energy level due to the absorption of infrared radiation by molecules is defined as IR spectroscopy, or it is also known as the rotational vibrational spectroscopy. Here, uh, it is also called vibrational spectroscopy because the transitions takes place between the vibration energy level. And in the as we know that in the ultraviolet spectroscopy, so there are the electronic transition um, is present, so that this is the electronic spectroscopy also. And the IR spectroscopy is also called known as the rotational and vibrational spectroscopy. In the bond in a molecule are somewhat they may be very flexible, and many undergo various mode of the vibrations. They may be the stretching, bending, twisting, etc. So these vibrations produce a change in the bond length, and consequently the development the sorry consequently the dipole moment of the molecule may change. So if the oscillating dipole is exposed to infrared radiation, so it may couple up with the electric field of radiation, and absorption takes place, which give rise to the vibrational spectrum. So as we know that if there are the homonuclear diatomic molecules, so these are unable to absorb radiation because they possesses the zero dipole moment. We all know the about this topic, and are thus infrared. So this is called the infrared inactive. Okay, and if the heteronuclear diatomic or the polyatomic molecules, so they possesses the permanent dipole moment, or it can be the development of the dipole moment on account of vibrations, are able to absorb the infrared radiation. So these are called the infrared active. So the linear, just like the carbon dioxide CO2 molecule has a zero dipole moment, but it develops in the dipole moment. Okay, but it develop a dipole moment due to the asymmetric stretching or the bending modes or vibrations, and becomes IR active. So these are discussing in our earlier. So that firstly we are going with the general introduction of the spectroscopy, and here the infrared spectroscopy. So in the infrared radiations are capable to induce transition between the vibrational and the rotational level, as each vibrational level is associated with rotational level of a molecule. So hence it is also called the rotational vibrational spectroscopy. Okay. So now the IR region is divided into the three types. So firstly, the region that is called the near IR region, and the wavelength range is 0.78 to 2.5 mm, and the wave number range that is the 1200 12,800 to 4,000 per centimeter minus 1, and the mid IR region is 2.5 to 50 mm, and the wave number range is 4,000 to 200 centimeter inverse. And for IR, far IR region, it is the 50 to 1000 mm, and in the wave number range, that is the 200 to 10 centimeter inverse. So now here is the, as we say that these are the rotational vibrational spectroscopy, so that here we can represent, that is the energy, and here is the intermolecular distance, that is denoted by R. So here, if the electronic transition is takes place, so it means there are the electron takes the energy and it goes to the higher energy state. So this is an electronic transition state. But in the rotation, here we can see that v0, v1, v2, v3. So this is the ground state, and V1 and V0 is equal to the vibrational transitions, and in the middle of the these vibrational transition, there are the rotation transition that takes place. So that this is called the rotational vibrational spectroscopy. So now there is the range of IR spectroscopy. This is the range of IR spectroscopy. Here it is that for 12,800 centimeter inverse to 10. There is some variations in the other different books, so that it doesn't vary, but that is a we can prepare this value, that is the 12,800 centimeter inverse to 10 centimeter inverse. So this is the range of IR region, and here we can divide it into the three parts. First is the near IR region, that is called the 12,800 centimeter inverse to 4,000 centimeter inverse. This region is called the near IR region, and the range is 4,000 centimeter inverse to 200 centimeter inverse. This is called the mid IR region. Okay, and then 200 centimeter inverse to 10 centimeter inverse is called the far IR region. So there are the first it is the near, for 12,800 to 4,000 centimeter inverse near IR region. 4,000 to 1,300 centimeter inverse is the functional group region, or 1300 to 909 centimeter inverse is the fingerprint region, and 909 to 66666 centimeter inverse is called the aromatic region. So the main region of the IR spectroscopy, IR range, is the near IR, mid IR, and the far IR. Okay, and these are, and the 4,000 to 1300 centimeter inverse, that is called the functional group region, or we can say that in this region we can determine the our functional group due to the, when the formation of the peaks are there, it is just not a peak, that is called the depth. So that there is a we can determine the functional group of compound, and the region that is 1300 to 909 is, this reason is a very important, because this is the fingerprint reason. Okay, we are talking the fingerprint reason uh, after some time. So that is the theory of IR spectroscopy. So here the theory of IR spectroscopy is restricted to compound with small energy difference in the possible vibrational and rotational state. अब समझ में आ गया कि भाई वाइब्रेशनल और रोटेशनल स्टेट के बीच में बहुत थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस की वजह से यहाँ पे देयर आर सम रिस्ट्रिक्शंस. Okay, so for a molecule to absorb IR, the vibrations or rotations within a molecule, so must cause a net change in the dipole moment of the molecule. Okay, so there are the type of molecule exhibiting IR spectra. So here uh, as I told above, that this type of spectra is given by the diatomic molecules with permanent dipole moment, and polyatomic molecules with and without dipole moment. Okay, so in IR spectroscopy, only those changes are important that cause change in dipole moment of molecule. Such changes give increase to higher spectra. For example, we can see here that example CO2, HCl, CS3Cl, benzene. So these are higher active molecule. Because why? Because as I told you that these are the heteronuclear diatomic or the polyatomic molecule, so which possesses the permanent dipole moment or developed a dipole moment on account of vibrations are able, these are able to absorb the infrared radiation. So these are the infrared active. And when we talk about the H2, N2 and O2, so these are the homonuclear species, and we know that these homonuclear species are the, they are the inactive molecule. So now to come to the fundamental vibrations of the IR spectroscopy. So here the fundamental vibrations are of the two types vibrations are present here. So firstly, that is the name of the fundamental vibrations are the stretching and the bending. Okay, so there are the stretching and bending, and here firstly we are going with the stretching. So there are in the stretching vibrations. The stretching vibrations can be symmetric or asymmetric type, and that is the movement of atoms in a molecule with respect to central atom is either in case direction or in different direction, same direction or different direction. Or we can say that in the stretching, the distance between the two atoms increases or decreases, but the atom remains in the same end axis. Okay, so there are the two types of the stretching. First is the symmetric and another is the asymmetric stretching. So firstly, we are talking that symmetric stretching. So in this type, the movement of the atom with respect to a particular atom in the in a molecule is in the same direction. Here we can say that that is the central atom, and the atoms with respect to the particular atom in a molecule, and they are in the same direction, we can see here. So this is called the symmetric stretching. And now the asymmetric stretching. So here in this type of the vibration, the movement of the atom with respect to a particular atom in a molecule is the opposite. So in that we can see here that the direction of the atoms are the opposite to the central atom. Okay, so this is the asymmetric stretching. And now the second type of symmetry, that is called the bending. First is the stretching and another is called the bending. So bending, the vibration, stretching and the bending. Okay, these are the stretching and the bending vibrations of a band occur at central quantized frequency. So bending vibrations may be the scissoring, rocking, wagging, and the twisting type. So what is the bending? Firstly, we are going with the bending. So in this type of the vibrations, the position of the atom changes with respect to the original bond axis. Here we can say there is the vibration and the position of the atom changes with respect to the original bond. Here we can bond axis. So we know that the more energy is required to stretch a spring than that required to bend it. Okay, so thus we can say that stretching absorption of a bond appear at high frequency as compared to the bending absorption of the same bond. So the types of bending, there are the four types of the bending. So these are the scissoring, rocking, wagging, and the twisting. So firstly, there's the scissoring, that is just like the scissor. Okay, so in this type, the two atoms around the central atom tend to approach each other as just like picture A. So this is the scissoring. Next is the rocking. So in this type, the movement of the atoms takes place in the same direction as above we can see. So all the atoms are movement of the atoms are takes place in the, here we can see this, these are the same direction. Okay, and the third type of the bending is called the vacuum. So here in this type, two atoms move up and below the plane with respect to the central atom. Here we can say the positive sign is represent to the move up side. Okay, so these are the one upper and the below the plane with respect to the central atom. So this is the vacuum. And now come to the twisting. So in this type, one of the atom move up the plane while the other move down the plane. So with respect to the central atom, so this is called the twisting. Here we can see it is move the upside. Okay, and up the move up the plane, and this one is the down the plane with respect to the central matter atom. So we can see that here that these are the fundamental vibrations, and we know that the fundamental vibrations are of the two types, that is the stretching and the bending. Stretching is also in the two types. These are the symmetric stretching, and another type is called the asymmetric stretching. Okay, and then the about the bending. So here the bending are of the four types. They are the scissoring, rocking, wagging, and the twisting. Okay, so these are the stretch bending or stretching. Now the come to the vibrational frequency. Here is the vibrational frequency. The stretching vibrational frequency of a bond, it can be calculated by the Hooke's law, or according to the Hooke's law, the restoring force F is directly proportional to distance for displacement of atoms from their main position, and that is the F is equal to minus kx, we can write. And here we can represent it by the nu is equal to 1 upon 2 pi c under root k upon mu. Okay, so here the mu bar is equal to the vibrational frequency in the wave number, that is the 1 upon lambda, you know, and c is the velocity of the radiation, and here k is the force constant. So this is the vibrational frequency, and now the mu is the, that is a reduced mass, and mu is the, we can represent the mu is equal to m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2, where m1 and m2 are the masses of atoms in the molecule. So this is the vibrational frequency. Okay, these are our depend upon the Hooke's law. So now there are the number of vibrational modes. Here are the vibrational mode, and it is a important topic. So we are come with the number of the vibrational mode, and here it is a very simple method by which we can explain the vibrational mode. For the non-linear, and we have to we should remember that the formula by which we can calculate the vibration uh, mode. So for linear non-linear molecules, the number of types of vibrations is equal to 3n minus 6. Okay, I repeat again that the non-linear molecules, the number of types of vibration is equal to 3n minus 6, and for the linear molecules, the number of types of vibration is equal to 3n minus 5. Okay, and now here uh, as we know that the polyatomic molecules, they exhibit more than the one fundamental vibration absorption band. The number of these fundamental bands is related to the degree of freedom in a molecule, and which is equal to the sum of the coordinates necessary to locate all the atoms of a molecule in space. So each atom has 3 degrees of freedom. Okay, each atom has 3 degrees of freedom corresponding to the 3 Cartesian coordinates. So these are the XYZ necessary to describe its position relative to other atoms in a molecule. Okay, an isolated atom which is considered as the point mass has only the transitional degree of freedom. So it cannot have vibrational or rotational degree of freedom. So here, when atom combine to form a molecule, so no degree of freedom are lost. Okay, so that the total number of degree of freedom of a molecule will be equal to 3n, where n is the number of atoms in a molecule. Okay, so a molecule having the finite dimensions is made up of rotational, vibrational, and the transitional degree of freedom. So that is, we can say that 3n degree of freedom is equal to transitional plus rotational plus vibrational. Okay, so and the rotational degree of freedom that results from the rotation of a molecule about an axis. I repeat again that the rotation degree of freedom results from the rotation of a molecule about an axis through a center of gravity. So since we are considered only with the number of fundamental vibrations mode of a molecule. Okay, so there is a one very simple method so that we can calculate the number of vibrations mode. So here for non-linear molecule the formula is 3n minus 6, and for the linear molecule there are the 3n minus 5. So a molecule which is made up of rotational, vibrational and the transitional degree of freedom, it is 3n of degree and is equal to the transitional, rotational plus at the sum of the transitional, rotational and the vibrational. So in case of the linear molecule, so we take the linear molecule and we know that in the linear molecule there are the number of vibrational mode is equal to 3n minus 5. So here the total degree of freedom is 3n, transitional degree of freedom is 3, we know, and the rotational degree of freedom is 2. Okay, because it is a linear molecule, and the vibrational degree of freedom is equal to 3n minus 3 minus 2, so that is equal to 3n minus 5. Here we take the example that is the CO2 is a linear molecule, है ना? So say 3n minus 5, the total number of atom is 3, transitional is equal to 3, total degree of freedom 3n into 3n is equal to 3 into 3 is equal to 9. So, and the rotational are 2. So, there the vibrational degree of freedom is equal to 9 minus 3 minus 2 is equal to 4. Here we can show this is the CO2 and the element of molecule. So, these are the here these two are the moving in the out of the plane. So, there are the three rotation, three transition degree of freedom is 3, and the total degree of freedom is again 3n, and the rotation degree of freedom is 2 here. Okay, so now in case of non-linear there are the vibration is equal to 3n minus 6. So here the total number of the degree of freedom is 3n, transitional degree of freedom is 3, and the rotational degree of freedom is 3. So the vibrational degree of freedom is equal to 3n minus 3 plus 3. So these are the 3n minus 6. And we take the example of the benzene. Here the number of atoms is here number of atom is 3n. 3n means there are the 3 into 12. Okay, so total number of atom is 6. 12, sorry, total number of atom is equal to 10 is to 12. So that is the 36, and the transitional degree of freedom is 3. Rotational degree of freedom is again 3, and the vibrational is equal to 3n minus 6. So there are the number of vibrational mode is equal to 30. Okay, so this is the vibrational mode for the linear and the non-linear molecule. So now come to the very important topic, that is the fingerprint region. And the when we talking about the range of the fingerprint of the um, IR region, so in there is a range which is called the fingerprint region. So fingerprint region can be subdivided into the three regions. Okay, there are the region that is the 1500 to 1350. centimeter inverse, and the next is the 1350 to 1000 per centimeter inverse, and the third is the below 1000 centimeter minus 1. So one of the important function, as we know that the what is the important function of the infrared spectroscopy. So here we can say that it is the main function of the infrared spectroscopy is to identify the two compounds. Okay, so there are the identify the two compounds. So the IR spectra unable to characterize the two compounds as identical if in addition to matching the functional group region. अगर वो दो का सेम फंक्शनल ग्रुप में आ रहा है तो it means we cannot identify these two compounds by the functional group by the infrared spectroscopy. Okay, or I repeat again, the IR spectra unable to characterize the two compounds as identical if in addition to matching the functional group region. So it also have identical finger region below 1500 centimeter inverse. The reason below 1500 centimeter minus 1, it shows may characterize characteristics absorption which are caused by bending vibrations and those resulting from the stretching vibrations of carbon-carbon single bond, carbon oxygen and the carbon nitrogen bond. Okay, now these reasons have the characteristic absorption of different functional groups. These are the Cisterns configuration in compound and also for mono disubstituted in the benzene. So in this topic, related to the fundamental bonds, we know that the fundamental bonds are related to the degree of freedom, and the total degree of freedom of a molecule is 3n, where n is the number of atoms in a molecule. And usually the analysis of the region of IR spectra varies from which range, that is the 4800 to 600 centimeter minus 1. So the region from 4000 to 1500 centimeter inverse is characterized as functional group region, and below 1500 inverse centimeter inverse as a fingerprint region. So you have to remember that the fingerprint region is the below 1500 centimeter inverse. Okay, and the presence of the electron donating group or the conjugation lower the wave number of absorption, while the presence of electron attracting group rise the wave number of absorption. Okay, so this is the IR spectroscopy. Now we are going to the application of IR spectroscopy. That is the first application of IR spectroscopy. First is the identification of an organic compound. Okay, so we can explain the infrared spectrum of an organic compound is the most reliable method and establishing its identity. So the reason of the spectrum from the 1400 centimeter inverse to 700 centimeter inverse is complex because apart from the fundamental stretching and the bending vibrations, okay, because apart from the fundamental stretching and the bending vibrations, it also contain the bands result in their vibrational frequency. So this part of the spectrum is characteristic of a compound and is called the fingerprint region. Okay, and then second is the structural determination. Infrared spectroscopy is used to establish the structure of a compound. Okay, when for example the infrared spectra of suppose we take the amino acid exhibit band for ionized carboxylic acid and amine salt, but no bond for free amino S and the carboxylic group is observed. So thus we conclude that the amino acid exists as the deuterions. Okay, then the third is the determination of the impurities. So when we use the IR spectroscopy for the detection of impurities is also used, and it is also used for the detection of impurities. And although IR bands, there may be peaks, are not very sharp and intense even for pure sample. So the presence of impurities can be detected if they absorb in the region where the sample does not show any absorption. Then the next is the kinetic study of on reaction. So there it helps to the follow the progress of chemical reaction. So since most of the chemical reactions involved changes in the functional group of the reactant, therefore periodic withdrawal of sample may be sufficient to reveal the change in the reaction in terms of the functional group. And in the others, so it also had to study the structure of complex molecule, that is the keto-enol tautomerism, and the stability of conformers and the optical isomers, etc. Okay, so these are the applications of the IR spectroscopy, and now we have complete our lecture, which is related to the IR spectroscopy. In this lecture, we have already discussed the bands in the IR spectroscopy, and there are the, we know that the stretching and the bending are the important part, and there the range of the IR spectroscopy is also. Then the fingerprint region is very important, and there is the calculation of the vibrational mode. Okay, and then we are going with the here, and here is the vibrational frequency and the vibrational mode, and fingerprint region also. So these are the application of spectroscopy at the last of the lecture. So that now I complete my lecture, and for any query can contact